UEFA Champions League is back, match day 2 of the most prestigious club competition in Europe as the UCL, and it's match day 2. And we'll be taking a look at the fixtures coming up for match day 2. Quite some interesting fixtures as well. The biggest one for week 2, obviously, will be when Barcelona host Paris Saint-Germain, the defending champions of the UEFA Champions League. But other fixtures as well will be Chelsea also hosting Benfica. And guess who the head coach or the manager for Benfica is? Jose Mourinho. So Jose Mourinho is set to make an emotional return to the Stamford Bridge, where it all began, as far as being a world-class manager is concerned a couple of years back. So he's had 2 stints over there and returns there again, this time in the dugout of Benfica after they also parted ways with Bruno Lage, after they also lost on the opening day to Karabakh. And then also there's Manchester City taking a trip all the way to Monaco to take on Monaco in that game. So quite some interesting games. Liverpool will be away to Galatasaray and other games as well. But we'll be taking a look at the top games to see where the chances lie for these top teams, and then also what we should really expect from these games. I'm here with my regular suspect, Atiga Maulin Force. Last season he was here. Oh, did I say last season? Last week we were here and he was crying because Chelsea went to Bayern. We told them that they can't beat Bayern Munich. We told them. But then they didn't want to understand. He was emotional. He thought that, because it's Chelsea, we can beat any team. But there they are. So we'll be talking about the UEFA Champions League games, but then don't forget to subscribe to the Our Media channel. And then also, you can also leave your comment. Let's know which teams you are rooting for, which teams. And already, though, it's match day 2. But then which team do you think is likely to win the UEFA Champions League? And that's the first question I'll be asking for. I don't want him to over-elaborate. I just want a name of the team, a team. First, which team?
Madrid.
But why didn't you say Chelsea?
No, I said Madrid.
Why didn't you say Chelsea?
Why should I say Chelsea?
So you think you're a Chelsea fan? You think Chelsea?
No,
fan?
why should I say Chelsea?
Because you're a Chelsea fan.
No, I'm a pundit.
No, you're a Chelsea fan.
No, I'm a pundit.
No, I'm asking the Chelsea fan.
I'm a pundit.
I'm asking the Chelsea
Madrid.
fan. As a Chelsea fan, this guy is sell out, yeah? Okay, well, let's begin. Let's begin with what is on paper and obviously the biggest fixture in this round, match day 2. Match day 1, we saw some glimpses of some top performances from some of these clubs. And then match day 2, it gets even more intense because some of these clubs that drop points, especially a team like Benfica, they drop points, and that led them to the sacking of their coach, that's Bruno Lage, and then they brought in Jose Mourinho, who also drew his first, Portuguese league game. But let's start off with Barcelona against Paris Saint-Germain. This was a fixture that everyone was yearning for. We savored for this thing, but we didn't have it last season because PSG were in the final. Barcelona failed to beat Inter. Now we have it. Should we expect that same, competitiveness, assuming they had met last season?
No, it wouldn't be the same. You understand? I mean, the feel is going to be different about it. I mean, last season would have been cataclysmic. Last season would have been a hell of a match, because meeting in the finals. I mean, that would have determined who would have won.
It would have been,
the Ballon d'Or.
It would have been epic.
It would have been hell. You understand? I mean, because that match would have been something else.
Can you imagine like Barcelona beating Inter Milan, then PSG they were ready to beat Arsenal, then a final, Luis Enrique against Hansi Flick. You have
Barcelona, PSG.
Yamal, GA. You have Lewandowski against Ousmane Dembele. And that could have, consequently had an impact on the Ballon d'Or.
Not probably. That would have had an impact.
They would have decided the Ballon d'Or.
And there wouldn't have been questions asked.
At that point.
No, there wouldn't have been questions after that. Because you see, if Dembele is able to have a good day and then do it, what's the name? The Portuguese left back.
Mendes.
If Mendes had a good game against Lamine Yamal, then it would effectively have killed the ambition of
even climbing the podium.
Climb the podium. Because if you look at what did happen when Lamine Yamal met Mendes in the Portuguese national team, in the international team, he was shattered. He was hackled, he was shattered, and he on that particular day was as useless as anything else. So if that had happened in the Champions League finals, it would have completely put the one who had more dominant performance in that game on the podium. But we didn't have it. But the feel is not going to be the same. This is the group stages. That would have been the finals.
Yeah.
But you see, on every single occasion that Barcelona makes PSG, it's a difficult match. You know, considering the fact that one of the greatest comebacks in Champions League history
was between these
two clubs, and absolutely nobody expected Barcelona to have come back by the magic of Neymar. But these are totally different, ambiances altogether. But I do believe that it's going to be a hell of a match. It is a match that Dembele, should he be fit, would have to justify the reason for which he had been given the Ballon d'Or. Yeah. And then Lamine would also have to justify the reason
why he deserves it.
Why he deserved it, to the extent that the father said that he has been robbed.
Wow.
Yeah. So the two players have a say, or the two players have a key point to prove in that particular match.
Sure.
And it will be dire, it will be unfair should one of them miss the match. But on the totality of the match, I think that it's going to be tactical, because these are two coaches who are very tactical, right? Who are very tactical and technical. But one thing that I have observed about Hansi Flick is the fact that he has brought the German mentality and the German way of playing football.
Yeah.
He has detached himself from tiki-taka. Totally.
But there's a bit of tiki-taka.
No, there's
with so much urgency and so much power.
Yeah, so they've changed, just like Pep Guardiola has changed. Do you understand? It shows you the mentality of elite coaches. You don't have to stick to a particular plan if it is not working. Or if you're not conversant with it. That is the bane of a lot of coaches. A lot of coaches have an idea, have a philosophy, and even if it is not working, they get stuck with the same mentality. Hansi Flick goes to Barcelona, and he knows that this is not my style. He's going with a German style that is quick, that is efficient, that is destructive. And even though they score a lot of goals now, because they don't score 4 and then relax, like pass the balls around. They don't score 4 and then try to control the ball from the back. They score 4 and they won the 5th goal. They scored a 5th goal and they won the 6th goal. You saw what they did against Valencia.
Yeah.
And you saw every single match that they play, they have the urgency, and they desire for more goals. That is the mentality of the German people. And Hansi Flick, what's the name? His opposite number, Luis Enrique in PSG, has also brought the same mentality. And to the extent that over the weekend, they were beaten by Marseille.
Yeah.
By a long goal. Yeah. And everybody thought, because if you watch the match critically, if somebody did tell you that PSG had more than 20 shots with more than 10 on target, but still lost to a goal that was scored in the 5th minute, you would have been surprised.
Exactly.
You would have been surprised. Exactly. So it just tells you the attacking output and input of PSG. But against Barcelona, which is a much tougher opposition, I think that it's going to be quite dicey. It's going to be tactical. It's going to be technical. And I would be tempted to say that there will be a lot of goals.
A lot of goals.
That is what,
an entertaining game.
It's never going to be boring.
Okay, sure.
It's never going to be boring. You understand? But I am tempted to say that it's going to be an open game, unless Luis Enrique wants to just. And you see, Luis Enrique has never been scared of any opposition since he went to.
But neither has Hansi Flick.
So it's going to be. This is going to be fit for the goals.
Wow. Would you consult the oracles now?
Oh, yes, I will. But not today.
What have you say?
Not today.
Oh, come on. But, okay, as a pundit, give me your prediction. Or as a panther, give me your prediction.
Well, I'll go for goals. I'm not going to go for an outright win, because. But
if there's a win, or if there's going to be a win, which team has the likeliest, chance of winning?
Jose, is difficult. It's difficult for me to say, because I can say that the two teams are equally yoked. Do you understand? Attacking wise and defensively, they are equally yoked. So for me to want, my bias would be towards PSG and for Dembele to do well.
Interesting. All right, so it's still preview to Matchday 2 of the UEFA Champions League group stage, and it's the biggest match. It's any match on any day at all. That's the match you'd want to watch. You wouldn't even want to blink, once that game starts. PSG traveling all the way to Barcelona to take on FC Barcelona on Matchday 2. But another game that would really interest you first would be that game between Chelsea and Benfica. Now, mind you that both teams are coming into this one at the back of defeat. Chelsea lost at the Allianz Arena to Bayern Munich by 3-1. Harry Kane just slaughtered them. And then also for Benfica, they took a 2-0 lead in their game against Karabakh on Matchday 1, and they ended up losing. But that wouldn't be what the game will be about, because the man who is definitely set to steal that show will be Jose Mourinho.
Jose Mourinho is woven into the fabric of Chelsea, whether we like it or not. In the next forever. In the next 100 years, if Chelsea is mentioned, Jose Mourinho will be mentioned. Roman Abramovich will be mentioned.
Exactly.
Do you understand? And don't forget, a couple of years ago, in the Champions League, he brought Inter Milan in 2000 I think 2010, 2010, when Inter won the Champions League, right? And they beat Chelsea.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Courtesy goes from Samuel Eto'o. So the reception is going to be great, because he's a legend. But on the match itself, I don't think that Benfica has a chance at Stamford Bridge because of what I saw them do against Karabakh. Because you can stay in Portugal at your home comfortably, score 2 goals, and then lose by 3 goals to 2. I mean, it's unheard of.
Not to a top club.
That is where my problem lies. You understand? You see, if you score 2 against probably Sporting Lisbon, Braga, Porto, and then you go on to lose, I don't really have a problem with that. But if you go 2 up against Karabakh, we all know that the Azerbaijani league is not it's not even competitive compared to what we see in the Portuguese league. So that is an indictment on Benfica. But there's a different mentality. There's a different coach on the bench with a different mentality altogether. That siege mentality is still there. You understand? But I don't think that his net effect is going to outweigh. Tactically, he might outweigh. What's the name? Maresca. You know, because on any day, Jose Mourinho is a better coach. But the quality of players might favor Chelsea. So even though I might say that tactically Maresca is not up to the standard expected of him as a coach, compared to what Mourinho has been able to prove in the game for 25 years, the quality of Chelsea on the field might be a lot higher and better than what Benfica is going to parade. So to me, I think that it is going to favor Chelsea more, and also because they were devastatingly poor against Bayern. They played as if they were scared. They played as if, excuse my language, they played as if they were women being beaten by men. Do you understand? And it's been a long time I saw Chelsea play football like that, because I believe that no matter the competition, no matter the opposition, Chelsea should be out there competing, attacking wise. You understand? And if you get beat, you get beat. Yeah. Right? So at the end of the day, you go to Bayern and you play as if you have nothing at stake. This is Stamford Bridge against Benfica, whom we have continuously beaten. And remember, we beat them in the Europa League finals to win our second Europa League. Yeah. So I do believe that we have every chance, or Chelsea has every chance to win that game.
A win for Chelsea?
Yes.
A win for Chelsea?
Yes.
How many goals?
Maybe 3-1.
Interesting. But there's one other game also in Monaco, Manchester City. They've not really been convincing, especially in the last couple of years under Pep Guardiola. Some are saying he's lost his mojo. Others are saying that, he's tired. He looks tired emotionally, and then also psychologically he's tired. But then it's all about Monaco, where they have Ansu Fati, there's Pogba, who might not be available, but then there's a Ghanaian international, Mohamed Salisu, against Manchester City, led by Erling Haaland.
Well, when people say Pep is tired, I laugh, you understand? I mean, I quiz, because this is somebody who has dominated English football. This is somebody who has done something that nobody expected. Not even the gods expected.
And that's why perhaps he's lacked.
No, you see, we have come to associate Pep with winning, which is rightly so. But you can continue winning. It doesn't happen.
So that makes you tired sometimes?
No, you wouldn't necessarily get tired. Everybody gets tired, you understand? But what I'm trying to say is that it is not as if the competence level of Pep has vanished or diminished. But remember that for 10 years, or close to 10 years, he had the same spine, or for close to a decade, for 8 years, he had the same spine, he had the same structure, and the same players at his level or at his disposal. So he had the ability to work with that spine. Now the spine is no more. And almost every single player who defined Pep Guardiola's era at Man City is gone. He's now rebuilding. And you don't expect him to still continue dominating football in his rebuilding phase, right? In the first year that he came to Man City, he did not win anything, because he has just started building. It's the same phase that they find themselves in currently. And one thing that I also realized, one thing that is very clear, is the fact that he has seeded that now I do not have the players to play my my style of football. So he can change the formations. Against Arsenal, you remember he played 5-3-2.
Yeah.
You understand? Impossible for Pep Guardiola team to play 5 at the back. And with defensive to the extent that after 90 minutes, they had the ball only 33.5%. It has never happened. But it just tells you that he's willing to change. He's a coach who has realized that I do not have the players who can dominate possession, who can dominate the ball as I have always done. But they are very good in transition. Do you understand? So why should I force them to play in the system that they are not conversant with? And then rather, instead of putting them in the system that is more transactional in the sense that they soak the pressure and then they hit you on the break. And they've got an attacker who is very good on transitions. Yeah? And they've got midfielders who have got pace. They've got midfielders who are very good in running. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, that is what Pep has been able to adjust to. That is what makes, to me, a good coach or a great coach. And we have seen results because against Arsenal, everybody thought that Arsenal was going to annihilate Man City.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they were able to limit Arsenal in their attacking play. Remember that they had a lot of touches, but they were not able to create a lot of chances. So that is something I think is going to help them in the season. But against Monaco, I don't think that Monaco is going to offer a lot of resistance, notwithstanding the fact that over the weekend, Monaco did win by 5-2, but that was in the league. So I don't think that it's going to be a daunting task for Man City to go to Monaco and win.
For them.
Yes.
A win for Manchester City. All right, so that's the preview to match day 2 of the UEFA Champions League. Barcelona against Paris Saint-Germain. Galatasaray will take on Liverpool. Monaco hosts Manchester City. And one of the games you should really try and have a look at will be that game between Chelsea and Benfica, where Jose Mourinho is set to make an emotional return back to the Brit. Thanks so much for Force for bringing us that incisive analysis. But then it's always nice when we hear from you, and your messages down there, the predictions and all that. Don't forget also to subscribe to our channel. If this is the first time you're watching, we welcome you to the family. Subscribe, like, share, and then we continue feeding you with the best from the world of sports. I'm Josiah. Bye.